What up? It's Trans by Cartier, and today I'm doing this video is as a form of a testimony. I know I did a video before giving y'all the reasons why you shouldn't quit if you're pursuing anything, especially if it's if it's a barber journey or whatever. But today I wanted to do this video giving y'all a little bit of my testimony as to show y'all, you know what I'm saying, anything isn't too big for God to do whatever it is that he's going to do in the situation. So one of the biggest fears that I had during my whole barber journey was when I was in barber school and I ended up becoming homeless. At that point, I was finna give barbering up and just find me a regular job, and my career didn't even get started. But the crazy thing is, that wasn't even the case for me. Like I said in my previous video, I had people looking out for me that actually wanted to see me succeed. So they didn't want to see me give up. And I thank God for those individuals for, helping me to see my way through whatever it was that I was going through when I was homeless. Now, being homeless was no joke. Like, it wasn't like I was homeless and didn't have any money. Like, I had money at the time, but it was just a living arrangement that I had that didn't go through. And it helped me to realize that, like, anything could happen. So you have to be grateful for what you have whenever it is that you have it. You know what I mean? So, but how I ended up homeless was because I was living with my ex-wife's family, and we made an arrangement, and we agreed to pay a certain amount in the rent and bills, and some things just, you can't depend on some people. At the end of the day, things went left and we were forced to leave. And the crazy thing was, when we left, it was like dead in the middle of winter. So at the time I was in Illinois, and it had started to snow. So I had to actually gather my family, my wife and my daughter. At the time, my daughter was like 3 or 4. And we had to go live in a shelter. My ex-wife at the time wasn't working. So at that time, I had to go find a job, because my daughter was so little at the time that she didn't feel comfortable going to work yet, and we couldn't afford daycare. So while I was gone to school during the day, she would be at a friend's house with my daughter, and they would sit there all day until I got out of school, and then I would have to go to work, and then we would have to go to the shelter. The shelter that we went to was like 45 minutes away from my job. So I had to drive to the shelter as soon as I got out of school, or when I got off from work. Now, when I got off of work, since I was working this job part-time, I was working at Lowe's. And when I was working the job, it was, I would get off at like 10, sometimes 11. I would have to go pick them up and then drive all the way to the shelter, which was like a 45-minute drive. Spend the night at the shelter, then get up early in the morning, because they wouldn't let us, sleep past 7 a.m. or something like that. No, it was actually 6, because we had to go to breakfast at 6, and we had to be out by like 7:30. And then we had to go throughout our day, or whatever the case may be, and then we had to come back. And I had to do that process for like, I think like 2 weeks. And at that particular time, I was very sick. I had found out that I had gastritis, and I was suffering from gastric ulcers and didn't know it. And my body was going through a bunch of changes at the time because I was sick and I didn't even know what was going on. But even when I was sick, I had to take a break from barber school so that I could, get my living arrangements situated. The VA actually, I'm a veteran, so the VA actually helped me to find a place after that 2-week period for us to be able to find our own place so that I could, actually go back to school and continue to work. The crazy thing was, hold on, I'll be right back. Oh man, I dropped my mic. Yep. I had to run in the store right quick. Anyway, what I was saying was, so we had to do that whole process every day for 2 weeks. The VA actually helped me to, work out something to where I could have a place to stay and all that kind of stuff, which was a blessing. And then, like I said in the previous video, the school that I went to, the owner looked out for me. I appreciate him for that, you know what I mean? Because I was supposed to be up out of there, but by the grace of God, he helped me out. So, but the crazy thing was, in that 2-week period that I was homeless, I was just thinking about quitting, just finding a regular job and not pursuing barbering as a whole, because I was going through so much stress and anxiety. And there was a point where I actually hit rock bottom and having to navigate through depression and anxiety all at the same time. And it was crazy because in my mind, I was thinking, I wasn't good enough. I got my family out here homeless. I'm not making wise decisions for my family, for myself. But it just happened to be a circumstance to where something unpredictable happened. But had I given up, I wouldn't be in the position that I am right now. And like I said before, in my previous video, I became a full-time barber in 2022. But I actually started that journey in 2017. So like it took me a 5-year process of going through things, going through life, getting some wisdom and understanding, and just experiencing certain things that I need to experience so that I could be a stronger individual. And had I given up, I would not be in the position that I'm in today. Like, I've learned so much in that process to the point that nothing really affects me like that. Like, if I have to be homeless today, I would know how to navigate that. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to start from zero to get back to this point, I would be comfortable because I would know how to do it. And if I had to start all over, I would start all over again, from zero. And so that, I could be in a better position. Or so that I can learn, so that I can teach other people. But at the end of the day, like, when it's all said and done, also God showed me things in that process to make me a stronger and better individual. And he's still doing that today. But even in my testimony, I know that there are other people who may be going through things that are worse than what I went through. But if you're seeing this video, this is basically motivation for you to let you know that you shouldn't give up. You should keep going. You shouldn't be worried about what's going on in the present. You should be focused on your future and sticking to your goals, because most people would have given up. Like, whenever I tell people my story, like the full story and all the things that I actually had to go through during that journey, they look at me like I should have lost my mind, or they're wondering, like, why am I going so hard for the things that I'm going for, even though I went through whatever it was that I went through. But from my experience and what I've learned and what I've seen in other individuals that I want to be like, they didn't let nothing stop them from reaching their goals and actually, seeing their full potential. So that's why I pursue the things that I pursue, and I don't allow things to stop me from doing whatever it is that I got to do. I don't make any excuses anymore. I don't complain about certain things. And I still deal with anxiety and depression, but I don't allow those things to stop me from what it is that I'm doing. I do have my days where I feel low, but even in those low days, I still push through it. I still, depend on God to get me through those times, because without God, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. And then this also helped me to push forward with having this YouTube channel so that I could show people how to be a barber, or to be a better barber, or whatever the case may be, because I've been at a place where I was at my lowest. The last thing that I thought that I would be was homeless, because I was always cautious. I always made sure I paid my bills and all of that on time. I was never late. If I acquired any debt, I paid the debt off ASAP. I didn't waste any time, didn't make no excuses. But that moment I became homeless, that was like the lowest I had ever been. And like, that was life-changing to me. It, in a sense, it woke me up. It gave me wisdom, it gave me knowledge, and it turned me into a different individual. For some people, homelessness keeps them homeless. But for me, it gave me motivation to never get back to that point ever again. My bad, I had to go get something else. But also, another plus in my testimony about being homeless was it helped me to get closer to God. At the point, when all this stuff was going on, I wasn't even thinking about God, to be honest with you. But then the older I got, or as time went on, sometimes I would sit and think about, the things that I've been through, the things that I've seen during that time. And it just makes me more grateful for what God has done in my life. The things that I've witnessed, seen, learned since that point, it has made me a better individual. Like, if I had to go back to it for any particular reason, I would be a whole lot stronger. And I'm grateful for any negative thing that I've ever went through in my life and I've came out of it. It makes me all the more grateful, because it just showed me that God was with me throughout the whole process. He was showing me things. Even though I was in my feelings or discouraged or whatever the case may be, it gave me an opportunity to get closer to God. But like I said, I know that there are other individuals who have went through way worse in their life, but you will overcome those things. And the reason why I'm giving this testimony is so that people can understand why I'm doing this YouTube channel. It is not to necessarily get rich or to capitalize on making a lot of money or whatever the case is. But it's basically just me giving my story so that y'all can see a face and understand that all of us don't start out on a good path, as far as like everything being all bubbles, rainbows, and butterflies. Some people actually go through some stuff during that process, and I'm one of those individuals. Like, I went through some things. I went through some things, you know what I mean? And I'm still going through some things. But at the same time, I'm not allowing the bad to outweigh what I can become. All right, y'all, hold on. But I said all that to say that. One more second. All right, well, back to what I was saying. But I was saying all that to say, like, I'm using my platform to help motivate people, not only just barbers, but any individuals that are in entrepreneurship, that are going through things. I've been through things, I've seen some things, and I figured that I use my channel to help uplift people, and not just to, you know, be a time filler for most people, because we're living in a time where you see a bunch of nonsense on social media, and it's not going to help you as an individual. So that's basically what I'm using my channel for, to teach barbering and to help motivate any individual that is subscribed to the channel. I appreciate y'all for taking the time out to watch these videos or whatever. I thank y'all for the support. If y'all want to see or know anything or have any suggestions, you know what I'm saying, put them in the comment section. And I'm all about improving this channel so that you guys can get the best benefit out of it as much as possible, because we all have to go through life together. If you're a part of this channel, you're gonna see the growth. You know what I mean? Hopefully whatever it is that I'm putting out will help you all grow. And like I said earlier, I just appreciate y'all, man. And I hope that my testimony motivated you, that it also introduced you to God as well, and I hope that y'all keep pushing forward. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all take it easy and get to work.